So here we are, live on YouTube. Sorry for the delay, everybody. Little technical difficulties here. What did we just see? We saw more WWE Raw bullshit. We had one highlight of the night, and, well, two, if you want to count the beginning as a highlight. I don't know where you stand on the New Day, but we'll get to all that in a minute. Let's start right at the top here. Let's get to our notes, which wasn't much. One page was enough to fill everything in. The kickoff show started off, well, you know what? I'm a little off put by the way this show went off the air. So and my technical difficulties had me all screwy. So let's try some stuff, everybody. If you're watching me now, I see a few people logged in watching. Don't forget to use the chat room. And I may or may not be able to see you guys chatting along. I'm hoping that me trying to use this at the same time don't cause any lag in the video. If you're experiencing any difficulties, let me know. Chat, talk to me, interact. Let's get with it. I'm going to put something in here, say welcome to you guys real quick. See if anything works. And there we go. I see my friend, my Dubs is here. What's up? Live. See, I'm trying to type back, and I'm getting all kinds of shit here. Let's see how this works. All right, hey, we got Eep of the Creeper in the house. What's up, Eep? How's it going, guys? Nice to see some interaction. This is fucking cool. All right. So, feel free to shout out what you guys think as I talk along here. Let's get going. I'm not going to ask you guys personally, the two of you that I see here, to donate to me. But we have a donation link in the description below for anybody that's watching that feels the need to donate to the show. There are a few different denominations. They're cheap, it's only $1 or $3 or here and there, and cool little shit will happen on the screen. If you feel compelled to do so, never expected, always appreciated. Donations will help the show grow, and so far so good on this stream. I'm liking it. So also don't forget, if you haven't watched, I know you two guys have watched that I'm looking at right now, but for the rest of you guys that are going to join us, make sure you check the links below to the other videos that I have in there. The Nightmare Room had a great episode this last weekend. And the weekend before, we have our award show, our categories, and our nominees. So don't forget to watch that and leave a comment and hit that like button and let everybody know who you want to win those awards, which will probably be coming up the last weekend of the year when everything's finally over. But I promise to have it live right here on YouTube, just like this, probably on the 27th or 28th or whatever. I'll let you guys know on that. So let's get to the wrestling, because that's why we're here. And the kickoff show was weak. I mean, I love Enzo, and as long as he's talking, I'm good. Like, everything he says is just fucking amazing, and he makes me laugh from start to finish. And the match was a throwaway, as we all probably expected. It was fucking bullshit. And, Rusev gets the win, as I had hoped, because I just want them to kind of maintain what he's got going. He's a big brute force monster, and he just needs to be built that way. And if he would have went down cleanly to Cass, especially in a kickoff show, I would have been really upset by that. But, all in all, that's like it was. It was just a fucking throwaway, and it didn't really matter. The opening match, we had the tag team titles up for grabs. Now, if you watched the other shows, my preview and predictions for RoadBlock, you will know my stance on this. And I'm not happy that the New Day lost. Now, I was tired of it, and I wanted them to lose the titles before they broke the record. But now that they broke the record, I wanted them to really break the record. So what did they break the record by? 7 days? 6 days? I didn't look into the stats. I don't know what it is. But to make it epic and to make it historic, they should have held it. I was hoping that they would hold it to WrestleMania until some other viable tag team could be built. Although I did like the entrance for Sheamus and Cesaro tonight. It looked more like a team sort of entrance. Excuse me for a second. But that being said, we had a great match. They really put on a good match. I was highly entertained. The New Day tried their three-man trickery twice and failed twice. And Xavier Woods took one hell of a fucking kick to the mush and ended up back on the outside of the ring, trying to sacrifice himself and get the win. And really the best part of this match was the false tag at the end. Very, very smart booking. I gave them big props. That's something we have really not ever seen. That they intentionally fake the tag so that the finisher gets hit on the guy that's legal and the other guy comes in and gets it. It was fucking fantastic finish. And now we have new tag team champions, which is good on one hand, but on the other end, it just proves what I said earlier, that the only reason the New Day broke the record was just to take it away from Demolition. And at the end of the day, is that really important? I don't fucking know. But that's where we're at. So the team of two singles guys that was put together last minute is the first team to dethrone an established tag team in the New Day. Not Gallows and Anderson, and not Enzo and Cass, but Sheamus and Cesaro. Two guys who should be fighting for the United States Championship in the mid-card, but instead they're tag team titles. The tag team titles is a mid-card title, so, you know, it is what it is. And we have to accept it, but I freaking love the finish. Oh, you just wrote that. I freaking love the finish too. But it just didn't make any sense for this to happen this way. And we're going to move on. After this match, we had Kevin Owens in the back totally rag on Charlie Caruso. And why do I even know her name? I don't know. Because she's only been around for a minute and I don't know. But for some reason her name stuck. Maybe because I like the name Charlie. You guys know that. But in any case, you know, the whole point of this was to have him have an interaction with Chris Jericho. And he gives Chris Jericho a lovely holiday scarf, to which he just tosses on the ground, much to Kevin Owens' dismay. And I was upset. I'm like, man, this friendship is going down the tubes, and I love every minute when these two are on screen, even as opponents. Like, even in this interaction, like, they just, something about them two on screen is just magical. But it was a great little segment leading towards what they would want us to believe is going to happen in the end, and we will get to that at the end. Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman. Now, what can I say about this fucking match? It was pretty much the complete and total annihilation of Sami Zayn. And it didn't play out the way I thought. I didn't think they would let him last the 10 minutes. I certainly did not want Mick Foley to come out in any way. That whole shit with the towel, that Rocky IV finish. I gotta throw in the towel. No, don't throw in the towel, please. Get the fuck out of here. Take your new slim body and your disgusting beard and sit in the back. Because I don't want to fucking see you in the middle of a match. I don't care what your feelings are about Sami Zayn and how you relate to him and how you know, whatever the reason that you feel compelled to want to protect this guy. He's a man. He's got a better beard than you do, and you don't need to be out there. But that's what we got. We got him out there looking and sounding awkward, threatening to throw in the towel. Sammy takes the towel, throws it away. Braun Strowman continues his annihilation, and then suddenly, you know, the wrestling thing, Sammy's second wind starts to come back, gets aggressive towards the end, and the time runs out. Now, two minor issues with this. One, I don't mind that they gave Sami Zayn the win in this match. But technically, in wrestling, when the time limit expires, there is a draw. Now, the stipulations say that the point of the match was for Sami Zayn to last 10 minutes. So, Yes, he lasted 10 minutes, but he didn't win, per se. I just don't like the booking. They should have, even if they wanted the whole Foley thing to happen, they could have had him come out and then do the whole thing with Sammy, and then with like 10 seconds to go, have Braun Strowman get the 3 count. It would have been more believable because Sami Zayn just was destroyed for a full 9 minutes. Destroyed. With 0 offense. And then he comes back to just miraculously hang on. I didn't like it for whatever reason. It didn't perform to my expectations. I thought it was going to be better. I thought Sami Zayn was going to look great in this match. Instead, he looked like a fucking rag doll and got a few of his signature moves in at the very end. And that's it. I just don't like it. The whole thing could have come off a lot better. 3 minutes and 35 seconds left. Foley comes out and really ruined the whole thing. I mean, I was slightly invested because I was just waiting for Sammy's comeback. Or Sammy to mount some kind of finish. I didn't expect Braun Strowman to leave his feet at all. But I thought Sammy would at least put up a fight and that they'd try to make him look a little good. But they didn't. And they gave it an even worse spin by adding the Foley segment. 2 thumbs down on this one. Corey Graves even said it. He said Sami Zayn didn't win anything, he merely survived. And that's exactly how it looked. You don't look at a person that wins and technically see somebody that looks the way Sami Zayn looked at the end of that match. Then we had Rollins and Jericho. Probably the match of the night. This match was, well, for the guys. I have to be fair tonight. I have to be fair every night. It's only right. But the match quality was great. I just didn't care. I had no reason to care. We've seen this match before. And what is the real reason that Seth Rollins is fighting Chris Jericho? To get him out of the way? Like, if he beats him tonight, that's going to stop him from interfering in a match with Kevin Owens down the line for the Universal title? It's not going to stop. That you beating him in a match, if anything, is only going to make it worse. It's going to make him want to interfere more. This isn't the end of the line for Chris Jericho and Seth Rollins, as you saw as the show went off the air. And we keep seeing the same stuff over and over. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Keep you guys involved. Yeah, see, I seem to be on the right track. You guys agree with me? Eep's pointing out I'm tired of the barricade spot. Absolutely, I totally agree with you. We see the barricade getting broken through now almost every single week, so what's the impact? Nia Jax went through it. Becky Lynch put Alexa Bliss through it. Like, everybody's using the fucking barricade. Who cares? It gets old. You see it over and over. The same thing with the tables. We're seeing people being put through the announce tables again almost every other week. And tonight, at the end, as we'll get to it, we had 3. I think. Or 2 or 3 table spots at the end of the night. Good match. Good match. I just didn't care. And in the end, Seth Rollins gets the win, as I thought would probably happen. And we had Kevin Owens come out and interfere, as everybody knew would happen, and would be the reason why Chris Jericho lost this match. And I automatically assumed that now, as you would, if you followed me on Twitter tonight, you would see I was tweeting live during the show. I automatically knew as soon as this happened that now Jericho's gonna immediately be involved in the main event at the end of the night. But let's not jump ahead. After this match, we went to the Cruiserweight match. And here's where things get complicated for me, because I love the Cruiserweights. I do. I love Rich Swann. I love Brian Kendrick. I hate TJ Perkins. That being said, this match was great. I don't like the submission stuff. They're much better when they're wrestling more. I mean, the submission wrestling is good, and I don't mind it, but it's just for a cruiserweight match, and they're only giving you guys a few minutes. I mean, you should turn it up a little more and stay off the mat so much. And I hate the knee bar, man. It's just another thing to add to TJ Perkins to make me not like him. That move doesn't even look like it hurts. I'm sure it does, but it doesn't aesthetically look painful when somebody's holding it. Much like I said about, what the fuck is his name now? The British kid. Oh my god, I want to kick myself for forgetting his name, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about RoadBlock. But that other kid, he does his weird fucking submissions with his hands. Zack Sabre Jr., thank you. I don't like him, but he does these weird fucking finger submissions and makes people tap out by bending your fingers back. It's just some of the submission stuff you got to get rid of. I know it's different, but I don't care to see it. I want to see the action. And it was there. Rich Swann's fantastic. Brian Kendrick makes you believe. And Rich Swann would get the win, and the crowd didn't care. The crowd was asleep. They just didn't give a shit. They killed this match. And as I said, they don't give these guys enough time to really shine. Instead of giving them 10, 12, 15 minutes, we got to see all 5 different fucking language announce teams. Why? Why do I care about fucking Chinwoo and Funaki and whoever the fuck else is announcing? Why? Why do I care? It's just fucking ridiculous how they waste TV time. And then you got 3 tremendous talents in the ring during this Cruiserweight title match, and they got no time to work. But we saw Funaki. That's important. Anyway, I want to show you guys this here. As I'm taking my notes, because I don't know if you'll really be able to see it too well. But if you could see, I want you to see here. I wrote in my notes, as this match was coming to an end, one word to save the Cruiserweight division: Neville. See it in my notes? That was followed by, Swann wins with a super kick. I'm just trying to keep track. And then, holy shit, look who came out. Which makes me believe that sometimes I'm not actually having ideas and I'm just predicting the future. And that I'm sensitive to seeing things or feeling things. Because I was going to go off on a whole rant as I'm watching this match. I wrote that down. I'm like, man, how great would it be? The problem that they're having is that the crowd doesn't care about these people. So we need to get a guy that the crowd cares about and the crowd is into. Neville. Cruiserweight size, cruiserweight style. Well known, already has a very big fan base. Former NXT champion. You're going to solve your issues right there. And then the match comes to an end, and lo and behold, the little planet comes on the screen, the smoke hits, and here comes fucking Neville, and he looks fantastic. Excuse me. He's got the beard. He's got fucking ripped. Looks like he's really been hitting the gym. He always looked fantastic, but he looked in tip-top shape tonight. Neville has evil written in his name, and it is now part of his character as he came out and totally laid fucking waste to the whole entire Cruiserweight division, and I cannot wait now for 205 Live this week. Neville is going to be a part of the Cruiserweight division, and now I think the crowds will get into it. They have to get the strap onto Neville. They have to, because that's how they will save the Cruiserweight division and end up making 205 Live one of the best shows on the network, because they will have a new heel with something to prove, and it's going to be fucking great. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see what they have in store for Neville in this division. It's going to be fantastic, guys. Then we cut to the back again. We have Kevin Owens sniveling like a coward at Jericho's locker room door, and I was upset by this. I'm like, this is Kevin fucking Owens. This is a guy that crippled Sami Zayn in NXT and was proud and walked around and laughed about it. He wouldn't really give a shit if Chris Jericho was upset with him. That Kevin Owens. This Kevin Owens, they make him look like a schlub, and they make him look like he can't win without help. And, I'm not behind the direction of the story. But I love me some Kevin Owens. So I'm just going to be behind him, especially if he's the champion. I want him to succeed. I want him to do good. But I'm just not feeling the way they're turning his character. He should be more like how he was in NXT. He was much more like a Brock Lesnar. He was a prize fighter. He came out and he wrestled for money. I'm here to kick your ass because I need to feed my kid. Like, that was his bottom line. Now he's kind of a joke, and I don't like it. And it's not Chris Jericho's fault. And in fact, the only reason Kevin Owens is even relevant is because of his teaming with Jericho right now. And I hate having to say that because Kevin Owens is tremendous. Tremendous. But the people on Raw don't see it. And they see other people as their top guy. But we're going to leave that for the end of this show here. Sasha Banks and Charlotte, 30-minute Iron Woman match. Iron Woman match. They're not men, so they can't have an Iron Man match. I don't know why they do that, and it's one of the small things that fucking irk me. Match quality was fucking great. Inside the ring, this was probably the best match that they had. And it's a shame because if they would have booked it correctly, as I have stated constantly on my show, this would have been fucking awesome 3 months ago. This should have been the middle of the feud, this Iron Man match, which would have led us to maybe having the Hell in a Cell tonight instead, as a special attraction at RoadBlock for the first time ever for the women, and people would have been more invested. They weren't allowed to bleed. They were told, do not get busted open when you're in that cage, but it was okay for Sasha Banks to go out like a bloody fucking mess tonight. The quality of the wrestling was fantastic. And I called the end to a point. I predicted that there would be no pinfalls throughout the match and they were going to mimic the Shawn and Brett Iron Man match from years ago. And they didn't do it to that extent. But here's my problem. Because there's always got to be a problem. For them to wrestle the fantastic match that they did, and for Sasha Banks in the end to tap out with 3 seconds on the clock, do you really want me to believe that she couldn't hold on for 3 more seconds? She could clearly see the clock. Her eyes, her vantage point was on the Titantron. And she saw the time had 5, 4, and she fucking taps at 3 seconds to go. Your woman's champion. Your best in the business. 3 seconds to victory. And she taps the fuck out. Are you kidding me? That's where I lost all respect for the booking. Because I was hopeful in this moment that they were actually going to finish it off and leave the strap on Sasha Banks and not keep hopping this title back and forth between these two girls again. Does it really matter that she's the 4-time champion in 9 months? No. No, it doesn't. And they're only doing it again because they're record hogs. And they just want to have the ability to have eventually Charlotte break her father's or tie her father's 16-time record. And I don't have a problem with that as much as I have a problem with the way they're going about it. It's just 4 times in 9 months is not impressive because that only means you lost it 3 times. And while, yes, you're establishing her as a pay-per-view win streak kind of thing going on, you've sacrificed Sasha Banks at every single turn, at every single pay-per-view, and you are making her look terrible. So Sasha Banks can only win on Raw, but Charlotte can't win on Raw. But Charlotte wins the pay-per-view, and Sasha can't win at a pay-per-view. Does that make sense to you? Anybody? please. I don't know who Lisa Frank is. I saw your tweet, Mrs. C, and you said that Sasha Banks had a Lisa Frank vibe. I don't know what that means. I don't know who Lisa Frank is. But I'm sure you're accurate, because I know that you know your shit. But yeah, at the end they ended up tied. 3 seconds to go and she taps. Are you fucking kidding? Come on. I would have had more respect if there was a minute left and she just tapped out and then they, had to stay apart for 30 seconds and then they start doing something. I don't know. They could have booked it any other way. But to have it come down to 3 seconds, this has been the absolute worst feud of the year. They've said on multiple occasions tonight this is the last time. I hope they're not lying to us. Okay. So then, yeah, that being said, I'm just glad it's over. If it's over, I'm glad it's over. And then we go to Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. Now, I took to my phone because I didn't care, because I automatically assumed that Roman Reigns was going to win this match. I thought Chris Jericho was going to cost Kevin Owens the title. They certainly wanted us to believe that, the way they played it off tonight. But that was not the case, thank God. In this match, I was not interested in it up until there was a spot that came. Roman Reigns had Kevin Owens up on the top turnbuckle going for a superplex, and Kevin Owens would turn that shit into a fisherman suplex buster off the top rope. Absolutely beautiful move. I couldn't fucking believe my eyes. He is a big man to be tossing around like that, and I was taken back by that move. It's just one of the things that completely stuck in my mind throughout this match, as did the table spot, the first table spot of the match on the outside, where he sets Roman Reigns up on the German announce table and goes to do a frog splash. First time he does it, table doesn't break. He goes back to do it again, this time with a little more chutzpah. Boom! Bangs right through the fucking table, explodes everywhere. Looked fantastic. Was a great, great spot. He gets Roman Reigns back into the ring, goes and hits another star frog splash from the top rope this time, but his protective vest must work very well because Superman was able to kick out of that as well. Kevin Owens seemingly just could not keep his shoulders to the mat. He hit him with everything he could hit him with, as did Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was kind of impressive tonight, although, I was just bored as shit throughout this match because I didn't care. They gave me no reason to care leading up into it, and I don't want Roman Reigns to win, and that's what I think is going to happen throughout the entirety of this match, and I'm just waiting for Jericho or somebody to come out and cause some shenanigans. And that is exactly what would happen, as Jericho would come out right at the darkest hour for Kevin Owens. He was trying to get himself disqualified by using the Raw title. The referee would stop him, leading to a spear, but that would be kicked out, thank God. And Jericho would come out. And we all knew what he was going to do. We all knew he was going to hit Kevin Owens. Nobody expected him to hit Roman Reigns. And they got me for a moment, because I was very, very upset that we had seen the dissolution of Jericho. And again, that would not be the case, as Chris Jericho, after Kevin Owens would be announced as still the Universal Champion, would smirk and smile and assist Kevin Owens in getting up, and then embrace him in a beautiful moment, which I was very happy to see, that they are still on the same page. And this whole thing was a work all along. They were trolling us the whole fucking time. And yes, indeed, the gift of Jericho was given to us tonight, because Kevin Owens still has that ridiculous red licorice belt. And now we are going to have to see what they have in store. End of the line. What did that mean, really? Well, does it mean we are at the end of the Sasha Banks and Charlotte feud? God, please let that be the case. Are we going to move on for Kevin Owens? Is the Roman Reigns chapter finished? No, because it's clearly not the end of the fucking line. The way this show went off the air, Seth Rollins comes out as Jericho and Kevin Owens are exiting, and what do we have? We have a brawl. We have them Shield-style powerbomb Chris Jericho through the Spanish announce table. And then we have them Shield-style powerbomb Kevin Owens through Michael Cole's announce table at the top of the ramp. Again, table after table. I don't care. Does this mean tomorrow night we're going to see Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins versus Jericho and Owens? Of course it does, because that's what fucking Raw does. I wasn't happy with it. I mean, I'm just happy that Kevin Owens still has the title. I just wish they could let him fucking win for once. Just let him win. He's one of the greatest guys you have on the roster. Just let him fucking win. Fatal 4-way match at the Rumble? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Jericho, Rollins, Reigns, and Owens for the title. And who walks away with that, who the fuck knows? I'm much more interested in what's going to be happening on SmackDown at the Royal Rumble. Because if AJ Styles ends up wrestling The Undertaker, that's going to be a match to behold. You guys know. I mean, the Phenom versus the Phenomenal One, it makes me tickle inside. That's why I'm more interested in what's going on over there. If Sasha was the number one contender now, I'd shoot myself in the fucking head. Because, I mean, really, who else is there besides Bayley? They haven't built up anybody else. They haven't built up anybody else at all. Right now, Nia Jax should be next in line just based on her appearance alone. Because she's something that we haven't seen. But you haven't made her look good. You haven't made her look dominating. You haven't made her look good at all. You've made her look terrible. And I believe she lost the match on TV already. So what good is she? It's almost like what you did with Bray Wyatt. You built up this hype and you did all this shit, and then for a while you treated him like crap because you just didn't know what to do with him. They don't know what to do with a Nia Jax. They don't know what to do with a Bayley. They're not easy to package because they're not your average woman. Well, Bayley is your average woman, and that's the problem. She's too average. And no matter how much makeup you cake on her face, she's still just going to be Bayley. The same Bayley we saw in NXT with no fucking makeup on her face. And you know what matters? How she wrestles. And we're going to hopefully see that tomorrow night. Asuka. What about Asuka? Asuka is a fucking beast. Asuka is the best women's wrestler they got in the company right now. But she's happy where she's at in NXT. And I'm happy with where she's at because she would be another one. Much like Sami Zayn. Much like... who else came up and floundered? Everybody from NXT who's come up since the brand split has just been fucking wasted. And she would get lost. So would Shinsuke. They just wouldn't know what to do with these talents. If they don't know what to do with Nia Jax, because it's written all over her what to do with Nia Jax, at that Hell in a Cell match, she should have came out, busted the door down, and destroyed both of those girls. And laid claim to the division. And that would have solidified Nia Jax as a monster woman, unlike anything we've ever seen before. She would have been something you had to see. But what did we get instead? We got a bullshit Hell in a Cell with a terrible finish in the middle of a feud. And that's not where you have a Hell in a Cell. The women's division is just terrible. And I'm scared to see where they go. I mean, it's almost obvious they're going to go back to Bayley versus Charlotte. Who else do they have on Raw? Emelina is going to come back in probably as a bad girl, because that's what she was, but they're changing her gimmick. I loved Evil Emma. I love the old song. I love the old look. I just don't care about this new supermodel. I would much rather her just come back as she was. I'm afraid they're going to ruin it. I liked Emma. I didn't like her teaming with Dana Brooke. We all know how I feel about that slob. But, you know, she's not going to be put into the world title picture anytime soon. Paige is back with the company, but she's only on the road. She's not cleared to wrestle. She's made it clear on her Twitter account that she's not going anywhere, and that she's going to remain with the company. But she just had neck surgery, and she's not going to be cleared to wrestle, probably not quite for a while. Maybe 6 months. Maybe you could expect her back as a surprise for WrestleMania. She would be a welcome breath of fresh air. And it's hard to believe that because she's been around for a while and you might not look at her as a new person. But when we've been subjected to the same two people for so long, even the old people would be great. Like, even if you threw Mickie James on Raw for one night just to fucking mix it up, because I'm tired of seeing all these girls wrestle each other. Do I care about Dana Brooke versus anybody? No. Am I going to give a shit about Emelina versus anybody? If they give me a reason to. And I don't expect them to, because they're fucking terrible. Tamina Snuka is still on the roster. You see how bad they are at showing us who's there? I completely forgot about fucking Tamina. She's another one that should have been in the same light as Nia Jax. She's got the Samoan lineage. She's a fucking female beast. And she should be reigning that division. Here's an idea. Put them fucking together. Samoans. Let them have a female tag team, monstrous tag team that nobody could beat. You can have Nia Jax be Tamina Snuka's enforcer. Not that she needs one, but that would be the whole joke of it. That would be how great it is. Come on. How come I can think of this shit and they can't? And then eventually you lead to that breakup and you have the two monsters come head to head at fucking WrestleMania. Did I really just come up with that? Yes. Thank you to Eeper for that little note, because that just made me realize this is Tamina Snuka. There's another second generation superstar that's just being fucking wasted, just like Curtis Axel is being fucking wasted, and just like most of these other guys, Bo Dallas being wasted. Bray Wyatt only now finally getting some recognition, finally getting some respect, has some gold around his waist, and it's thanks to Randy Orton, which I would have never called, and I still don't get, but I like it. He looks like he fits. He's playing the part well. We know it's going to dissolve eventually. But they just don't know what to do with these kids. And they don't know what to do with the women. And they don't know what to do with the tag teams. And they don't know what to do with the titles. So why the fuck do we watch this stuff, you guys? I don't understand. That's why I need to do this documentary. And I want to interview more and more people. Because I don't know why the fuck we do this. Why do we torture ourselves with this? Why do we watch this shit? I just love it. And I don't know why. This has now become my longest podcast ever. I see we're at 46 minutes, and I want to thank you guys for being here with me. This has been the RoadBlock End of the Line Review. This has been a great show. This was a lot of fun. I'm very, very happy that I had some interaction. Might have only been two of you, but this was great. Because as you see, it added to the show. We were able to talk and do some cool shit here. Thank you so much. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, come back to the channel for more. We are going to have Raw tomorrow night, probably live once again, SmackDown going live once again. This week is going to suck for me, you guys. The next time I'm going to have any time to myself is literally going to be Christmas Day. You know my schedule. I work fucking 9 to 7 in I'm sorry. I'm fucking tired. I work 11 hours a day. 8 to 7. And this week being Christmas week, there's one day this week where there's no time to go home on the schedule. And I don't like that. We have a lot of heroes and shit to do at the deli. It's Christmas time. We're catering the whole fucking world. And I just I'm going to have a rough time getting on the air, you guys. But Monday night, definitely after the show, will be live unless Raw puts me to sleep. That's the only reason I won't be here. Tuesday night we'll be live here after SmackDown, doing that, and then what do we got? Wednesday NXT. Nothing big on Thursday, but Thursday it's gonna be a rough day for me, man. Anyway, so we'll see what we got. We got the award show coming again. Don't forget about that. I will see. I don't know what the fuck that noise was. I don't know. Probably a pop-up somewhere, but it sounded like some kind of slot machine. Thanks for pointing that out. See what I mean? I love the chat thing. I love you guys being here talking to me. This is fucking great. I am Nick Nightmare. This, everybody get ready, is my boy Blue. The snowball microphone making me sound super cool every single time I'm here. Have a good night. I love you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow night for the Monday Night Raw review. Peace out.